In the violent ecosystem of Lookism, Gun Park is often remembered for his brutality, the shattered walls, the blood, the Kakashin toughness. But what truly makes him the trainer of geniuses is his mastery of the soft arts. When brute force fails, Gun switches to Aikido. He uses the opponent's own strength to humiliate them, flipping giants with a flick of his wrist and burying them in the pavement. If you want to learn this style, you have to abandon the idea of beating the opponent and learn the art of controlling them. This is the Control Mastery Guide. The first lesson of Gun's Aikido is the concept of the sphere. In boxing, you fight in a line. In Aikido, you fight in a circle. Gun Park often stands perfectly still, letting attackers rush him. He is the center of the hurricane. The science. An attacker rushing forward has linear momentum. If you try to stop them head-on, force versus force, the bigger man wins. But if you step slightly off the line and rotate, their momentum carries them past you. You become the pivot point. The application. You must master Tai-Sabaki body management. You don't block a punch, you open the door. When a fist comes toward your face, you pivot your hips 90 degrees. You let the punch occupy the space where your head used to be. This is the first step of control, making them miss while staying close enough to touch them. The second lesson is the wrist as the steering wheel. Gun Park is famous for catching a full-powered punch and twisting the attacker into the air. This technique is called Ketagaishi wrist turn. The anatomy. The human wrist is a complex joint that is incredibly weak against rotation. No matter how big the bicep is, the wrist can only bend so far before the body has to follow it to prevent a break. The technique. You don't grab the wrist. You catch the hand. You place your thumb on the back of their knuckles and your fingers on their palm. You twist the hand outward and downward toward their own feet. The result? To save their wrist from snapping, the opponent's brain forces their legs to jump and flip. They throw themselves. Gun uses this not just to throw, but to slam. He adds his own body weight to the downward spiral, turning a defensive throw into a finishing move. The third lesson is Kazushi break in balance. You cannot throw a statue. You have to make it wobble first. Gun never attempts a technique on a balanced opponent. The trigger. Before he throws, you will often see a micro strike or a sudden jerk. He disrupts their structure. The application. If an opponent is pulling away, you push. If they are pushing, you pull. You exaggerate their reaction. This creates a moment of weightlessness where they are floating on one leg. That is the window for the technique. The drill. Practice push hands or balance disruption drills. Have a partner stand firm and try to find the angle where they are weak. It is usually the third point of a triangle, diagonally backward. If you push them there, they fall with zero effort. The fourth lesson is the hard Aikido Eiki Jiu-Jitsu. Traditional Aikido Eiki is often taught as pacifist. Gun Park's Aikido is violent. He doesn't gently place you on the ground. He drives your face into it. This is the influence of Dotoro Akijujado, the ancestor of Aikido. The strike. Gun often punches the opponent while holding their wrist. He combines the lock with a strike to the ribs or face to distract them from the pain in their arm. This is Atemi striking the body. The philosophy, a lock is not the end. It is the setup. You'll lock the arm to freeze them, and then you'll strike the open target. Finally, you need the iron grip. You cannot control a chaotic street fight with weak hands. Gun's grip is described as a vice. If he grabs you, you don't escape. The conditioning. You need to train your flexor carpi radialis forearm muscles. The routine. Use heavy grippers. Do towel hang-ups, hang from a pull-up bar holding a towel, and practice rice bucket training. Plunge your hands into a bucket of uncooked rice and twist, squeeze, and open your fingers. This builds the crushing grip strength needed to latch onto a sweaty wrist and manipulate a 200-pound man like a ragdoll. To learn Gun Park's Aikido is to learn the ultimate arrogance. It is the belief that your opponent's strength belongs to you. You wait for them to attack. You step into their space. You take their balance, and you guide them into the floor with a smile. It is the art of minimal effort and maximum destruction. Use the circle to conquer the line.